Today marks a fairly momentous occasion for the Nation Media Group. When Business Daily was launched in 2007, it was at the peak of Kenya's economic takeoff that began in earnest in 2004. Until that time, business news coverage was confined to 3 inside pages of the national dailies and in weekly pullouts that were mainly published on Tuesdays. I think the days are varied in the other dailies these days. And our economy at that time was about 1.8 trillion on a per capita of about 35,939 or 36,000 shillings. Total revenues at the NS were about 472 billion, that's tax collection, and the NSC share index topped 5,445. That's really the time when Kenyans started embracing the stock market. I remember Safaricom went public, and KenGen also had a big debut, and I remember people made quite a bit of money, and everybody decided that is the place to put in their money. There was equal robustness in activity in the foreign investment sector, and the Kenya shilling was fairly steady against the major world currencies. These numbers looked small, giving ground to naysayers who doubted whether the Kenya economy was ready to sustain a daily business publication. All these emerging opportunities and risks direly needed someone to crack the numbers and break it down for the consuming public. That task fell on journalists to undertake as part of its public interest and watchdog role. No one was better placed in this market to do that than our group, Nation Media Group. And true to our tradition of innovation, we took a big leap of faith to invest in a newspaper at a time when the emerging digital media had begun disruptions in Europe and America's newspaper markets. It was, however, not an easy task with a number of challenges. Nothing like this had happened on this side of the world. The country had no pool of economic journalists that could be called upon to undertake the task, and we had to build the capacity right from scratch. And throughout it all, Business Daily has slowly but steadily carved its niche in the local newspapers market as a premium publication that speaks to decision makers in both public and the private sector. It has become the prime source of information for anyone looking to understand the Kenyan economy and business scene. Foreign investors looking to enter Africa through the Kenya Hub have found a one-stop source of information via subscription of the digital paper and a Business Daily Africa website. It is amazing the number of calls Ochieng and his team receive from a lot of people who are looking to invest in this country when they are trying to find one source of information. So it's up till today, the US and the UK make a second and third largest source of our audiences online, making Business Daily, BD as we like to call it, quite a global publication. Now, Business Daily is growing in circulation against all odds, which people keep telling us that newspaper sales are going the other way. The Business Daily is backing that trend, and advertising revenues are also growing. Nonetheless, in recognizing the changing trends in the consumption of our products, the reality is the digitally savvy consumer who mainly interacts with content online is becoming quite a big part of our audience, and we're shifting our efforts to serve this audience, both within Business Daily and basically all our publications. So we as an organization have converged the group's business news gathering, and Ochieng right now does it basically across all the channels. He heads that. And we are aggressively pursuing our digital-first strategy that lays emphasis on breaking news online and adding meaning to the stories for the next day's paper, commonly known as Day 2 journalism in the media industry. It is our pursuit of this new and emerging consumer that has reinformed the redesign that we did last week, and we are celebrating today's 10 years after the paper hit the market in March 2007. And I would just like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has been involved in the process of redesigning the Business Daily. And I would like to thank my board. I think they've taken a bold step in us going this route, my colleagues. And I think Ochieng personally, who's worked quite tirelessly to get this thing right. It does look simple when you see the final product. It's been quite a challenge to try and change a lot of the things that were structurally barring the changes internally. I think this relaunch reflects our long-term commitment to transforming the group into a modern 21st century digital content company. And as I keep saying, and I say this until ad nauseum, we will drive the online content in this country, and we are doing everything to make sure that we are in line with what the new, or rather the younger consumers want. So just to summarize, I'd just like to say we are committed as a group to do our best and ensure that public interest is the focal point at which we drive our journalism for. That means that we live to one of our biggest values about the truth. It does get us into trouble with a lot of people all the time, but it is something we are determined to pursue and ensure that public interest remains at the forefront of everything that we do. So thank you very much.